Mansfield in the morning.
So yesterday when I left here, I had quite an interesting day, considering I'd started the day speaking about emotions and how emotions are not always accurate and we need to be aware of our own emotions and realize that sometimes we can look at the same thing from a different perspective and the emotion will change. So this was confirmed for me when I spoke to someone of their experience following a meditation I led yesterday. And she hadn't experienced meditation before, so this is also a thing to remind people of the importance of meditation. And she was very stressed. So unbeknown to me, she had sent a message to a friend in the morning to say that she was feeling empty, alone, and afraid. So an hour or so after the meditation, she phoned and asked me if I had 5 minutes. And she said such a strange thing had happened to her, because I'm always interested to see how people experience it. And she said, while she still felt empty, the empty was different. She had emptied herself of all that was draining her, and now she was ready to be filled with new things, and she was hopeful for the future, and at the same time she felt extremely peaceful. So what interested me was that she used the same word, it's the same person, but very different emotions associated with it. And that just reminded me how complex emotions are, how complex we are as humans. And it's critical for us to develop an EQ that starts, obviously, by understanding our own emotions as well as others. Now, yesterday I mentioned the 6 basic emotions, and I just want to look at them quickly. And I'm going to end with happiness, because it's Friday and we must be happy. So we'll start with sadness. Sadness is something all of us experience from time to time, and it is an emotion that needs to be, we need to go through that sadness. What I'm discovering more and more is that people who try and avoid grief and avoid sadness, actually at some stage later on, it impacts on them. And you have to actually go through it. So if you're struggling with grief or sadness, you need to recognize it and ask for help. But you actually have to go through the process, as much as we don't enjoy it. Fear is another powerful emotion that can play an important role in our survival. When we face all sorts of danger and we experience fear, we obviously go through what everyone knows as fight, flight, or fright response. But at the moment, people are experiencing fear. Fear for the future, fear of the virus. You see fear in the shops. People are telling me how they're not enjoying shopping anymore. I think it's quite good for my credit card that I'm not enjoying shopping. But there is fear because it's just not the same as it was. And it is helpful because it tells us something's not right. But if it continues too long, it will rob us of what is good in life. Disgust is another of the original 6 basic emotions described by Ekman, and I didn't know this. But researchers believe that this emotion evolved as a reaction to foods that might be harmful to us or even fatal. So when people smell or taste food that's gone bad, disgust is a typical reaction and it makes us withdraw. So I thought that was quite interesting. Anger, of course, is a powerful emotion and it can be good or bad. It's not always a negative emotion because anger can help us have the energy needed to resolve something that's wrong in our lives. And then we have surprise. Surprise is the 5th one of the 6 basic human emotions that Ekman described. And it's quite brief, and it's characterized by physiological startle response, and it can also be good or bad. And then happiness is the one I want to end with, because happiness tends to be the one that we all strive for the most. For me, I prefer the word joy. I think happiness is quite a superficial word. But the thing I found interesting about happiness was that they only started researching it really in the 1960s. So before that, psychologists didn't really care whether we were happy or not. Or maybe they didn't really have much to do with psychology. People just had to get on with life. But obviously with fields such as positive psychology, they've explored it in depth. And we know that things such as smiling, the relaxed stance, upbeat, pleasant way of speaking, all indicate that we're happy. So while it's considered one of the most basic human emotions, the things we think will create happiness tend to be heavily influenced, for me, I agree with this, by culture, friends, or family. So I have a friend who loves name brands, and if she can go to one of the name brand shops, that makes her very happy. I love plants, animals, and people and really don't care about the brands, and that's what makes me happy. So all of us have different things that make us happy, but it is linked to longevity and increased satisfaction in relationships. So these 6 basic types of emotions described by Ekman are just a portion of the many different types of emotions that we're capable of experiencing in life. And Ekman's theory suggests that these core emotions are universal throughout all cultures in the world. They do play a critical role in how we live, so we do need to know what our emotions are. They influence how we engage with others in our day-to-day lives, and they do influence the decisions we make. So by understanding them, we gain a deeper understanding of how they're expressed and how they impact on our own behavior. So it's important to remember, however, that no emotion is an island. They all come together in a mixed, nuanced, complex way, as I described right in the beginning, for someone where the word empty meant something completely different. But they work together to create this rich and varied fabric of our lives, and I think they are a wonderful gift. So I pray that this weekend you will discover happiness in many different forms. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless and keep warm.
Thank you, Reverend Shana.
Thank you.
Here it comes! It's Mansfield in the morning. Driven by Sandown Motors, your Mercedes-Benz partner. On